Today we're diving into the award-winning novel Beyond the Bright Sea by Lauren Wolk. It's this really powerful story that gets you thinking about a huge question. Is family about the blood you share or the love you build? It's a journey into identity, mystery, and what really, truly connects us.
So, picture this, a tiny little boat, just floating on the open sea. And inside, a newborn baby, with nothing but a strange ring and a mysterious note. And right there, that's where our story kicks off, with a mystery that literally washes up on shore.
This one question, it's everything. It's what drives our main character. It's really the heartbeat of the whole novel, this deep need a young girl has to uncover the secrets of her own past.
All right, let's start with Section 1, A Girl Adrift. Our whole story is built around a 12-year-old orphan, so to really get her journey, we first have to meet the girl at the center of it all.
So, our hero is this 12-year-old girl named Crow. After being discovered in that boat, she's raised by a man named Osh, who's this quiet, solitary guy living apart from everyone else. And growing up on these super isolated islands, Crow becomes absolutely determined to find the one thing she's always been missing, a real sense of where she belongs.
Okay, so to really understand a story this good, you kind of have to meet the person who created it. So that brings us to Section 2, The Storyteller's Craft, and the author, Lauren Wolk.
Listen to this quote from her. It says it all. For her, writing isn't just a career or a hobby. It's a part of her being, as essential as skin and blood. It just shows how deep her connection to her craft really is.
And believe me, that passion, it really shows in her work. Wolk isn't just any author. We're talking about a Newbery Honor and a Scott Odell Award winner. That second one is specifically for outstanding historical fiction. So she's an absolute master at making the past feel alive.
And that's why the setting in this book feels so real. You can just feel it. Wolk says the ocean has always had this mighty pull on her, and you can totally feel that deep, personal connection on every single page of Crow's story.
So, how does an author actually build a world that's so compelling? Well, let's take a look at Section 3, Mapping Crow's Journey. We're going to trace the 5 stages of her story to see just how it all unfolds.
We're going to use this classic plot structure. You've probably seen it before to map out all the major turning points in Crow's quest, from the very beginning all the way to the end.
So first up, we have the exposition. This is where we meet 12-year-old Crow on her isolated little island home, and we learn she's driven by that one burning question. Where did I come from?
Next, things start to get really interesting. This is the rising action. Osh finally gives Crow the only clues he has, that ring and a note, and these two little objects launch her, Osh, and their friend Miss Maggie on this big quest to a nearby island called Panakese, which used to be a leper colony, to search for some answers.
And all of this searching, it all leads right here, to the climax. This is the story's great turning point. After hitting one dead end after another, Crow finally gets in touch with a doctor and a nurse who used to work on Panakese. And this is where the truth, which has been locked away for years, finally starts to come out. And what she finds out, wow, it's just devastating. Crow discovers who her parents were, only to learn that they told everyone she was stillborn. Can you just imagine the shock and the pain of finding that out? But just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's another twist. Right in that moment of incredible loss, she finds a new connection. An older brother named Jason she never even knew she had. So the climax gives her some answers, but it also opens up a whole new can of worms.
Okay, so the big secrets are out, but the story's not over yet. Now we're in the falling action. The dust is still settling. Crow finds out her mother buried some treasure on the island, but right after she, Osh, and Miss Maggie dig it up, they get robbed, and it puts their newfound peace and even their lives in serious danger.
And that brings us to the end, the resolution. The thief is caught, the danger's over, and Crow can finally be at peace. She comes to this beautiful realization that, knowing her past is important, but the real treasure is the family that chose her all along, Osh and Miss Maggie. Crow's whole journey really boils down to one huge question she struggles with from start to finish. And that brings us to Section 4. What makes a family? What really makes a family?
I love how the author herself puts it. She says, blood is important, but it's not everything. And honestly, Crow's entire journey is about her learning that very lesson.
So the story really shows Crow caught between two kinds of family. On one side, you have the family of blood, her biological parents, this connection to a really painful past. But then on the other side, you have the family of choice, Osh and Miss Maggie, who built this amazing life for her based on pure love and care. So, okay, it's a great story, but why does a book like this, set so long ago, still matter so much today? Let's talk about it in our final section, Why Old Stories Matter.
Reading historical fiction isn't just about learning dates and facts, right? It helps us develop these incredibly important skills, like empathy and compassion. When we get to step into someone else's shoes in a different time, it lets us feel what it might have been like for someone like Crow, facing prejudice and loneliness in a world so different from ours.
And it's not just me saying this. One educational guide actually describes Wolk's novels as a gift to the social and emotional well-being of young people. So these aren't just stories, they're basically tools for growth.
So as we wrap this up, we're left with this final thought. Crow's journey teaches her what family truly is. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What story, old or new, has really changed the way you see the world?